What's up, guys? Matt here with Project Unbroken. Today I want to talk about the tapering process. Is it going to hurt? How do I approach this thing? Should I start tapering now? What do I need to do before I start tapering? All of these questions I'm going to unpack. And I want you to stay tuned because I got this idea because I had 3 conversations on our Instagram DMs today that were all of a similar nerve. And if you're not following us on Instagram, please do so at Project Unbroken. This is going to be on there. Other more Instagram stuff's going to be on there too. But anyways, I told these guys and gals, I'm going to answer your question tonight because this is a question we get a lot and it's a very general question. And it's essentially, how do I do this? What's on the other side of this? Like, what is coming down the pike? What's coming at me? And the one guy I spoke to in particular said that he's been on subs for 7 years. He said, I'm pissed because I feel like I could have gotten off the pain pills without Suboxone, and now I've been on Suboxone for 7 years, and I don't know how to get off Suboxone. And it's funny because I think we all find ourselves at some point in time in this situation where we had an issue, heroin, pain pills, whatever it is, and then there's a solution, Suboxone or methadone, and it's like, nice. All right, there's a get out of jail free card for me here, and they really are. I think specifically Suboxone, I think it's awesome. I don't think I'd be where I am today without it, but there's really no clear path that I have a clear path, but there's no doctor to say, like, this is exactly how you do this, or this is how you get off of Suboxone or methadone. Because yes, there's a lot of individual circumstances that are going on. You know, you and the person next to you came to this thing in different ways. You're probably going to get off in different ways, but there is a blueprint that you can follow that will make it much easier. And I think what's really difficult about this is, you know, if you look through our comments and the videos when we talk about how to get off of Suboxone without, you know, major withdrawal symptoms or really any withdrawal symptoms, or, you know, how to deal with Suboxone withdrawal, there's a million comments of people who are like, hey, I've been following your advice and this has really worked out well. I've been off Suboxone for 6 months, 2 years, whatever it is. Thanks. And then there's the next comment where it's like, no withdrawal, this is fucking bullshit. You know, and it's from somebody who probably didn't watch the entire video, to be quite honest. And it usually isn't, because I do have a tendency to engage with negative comments for some reason, and I know I'm probably going to get bombarded with them because I just said that. But it's a weakness of mine. I'm sorry. But I do like to engage and say, hey, like, did you try this? Did you try that? Like, are you actively trying to do this, or are you just looking at the negative side of things? But anyways, there is a way to do it. And the one guy I was talking to today, that when he brought up the fact that he's been on subs for 7 years and it just seems so scary to live life without them, that really struck a nerve with me because, you know, this guy's young. He said he was 35 years old. He's been on subs since he was 28. 35 is really young still, all right? I mean, I'm almost 37. I am young, all right? The other guy I was talking to today was 23 years old. That's super young. Like, you're good. You have to keep in mind that you have been through so much in your life, especially if you've taken this path. You've seen the worst of it, all right? Like, you already know as bad as it gets. Moving forward now, you have a choice between 2 difficult situations. You have a choice between kind of being a little bit more disciplined, making some tougher decisions, getting in touch with being uncomfortable on a regular basis, and using that to build yourself up and get strong and get comfortable with being uncomfortable and come out on the other side of your dependency on Suboxone or methadone strong as fuck, like where you can accomplish anything. Like, you will be able to literally do anything because you have built this toolbox that makes you unbreakable. The other option, the other difficult option, is to stay where you are for the rest of your life and just fucking be mediocre and not really happy. I'm taking option A all day long. The hard road. I want that road. I want that road to freedom. I want to learn the hard lessons. It's easy for me to say this because I'm on the other side of it now. And, you know, I have all this awesome shit in my life because I can do whatever I want. Like, I've started 5 businesses. I'm building a new home. My wife is the love of my life. I have 3 beautiful daughters. Like, I can do whatever I want, but you can too. And you know, the thing that kind of drives me nuts, and I'll get into the actionable steps in a minute. Let me rant, please. The thing that drives me nuts is the stigma that people talk about for drug addicts. It's not the stigma that you think about when people are like, oh, you shouldn't say, like, you know, I've been clean, because that insinuates that drug addicts are dirty and they're not dirty people and all this fucking woke bullshit. That's not what the real negative stigma is. The stigma that really affects us is the stigma that we have on ourselves. We write ourselves off. Like, we get to a certain point where, like, I'm not going to be able to handle this. I'm not going to be able to get through this. Meanwhile, you've been through the most difficult shit ever already. And especially if you're kind of through the Suboxone thing, you've already been through, like, the gambit of emotions and difficult situations and tough decisions. Now, you just need to put those lessons to work and just do it again. Like, get stronger. You know you're going to be stronger on the other side of this thing. So now that my motivational rant is wrapped up and you know you can fucking do this, how do you do it? There needs to be some more organizational skills put to work with this entire thing. So what you need to think about is you need to get your house in order. I'm talking about, like, any bullshit you go and or you have going on, you got to deal with it. So Suboxone, in my mind, and methadone, it's a crutch. Like, when you break your leg, you get a set of crutches to allow your leg to heal. You're not supposed to be on the crutches for the rest of your goddamn life. I'd be miserable if I had to walk around with those awkward ass things. Like, it's the same with being stuck on methadone or Suboxone. For most of us, if you don't feel that urge to get off, keep doing what you're doing. But if you find yourself stuck and you want more and you want off of this, you want your freedom, this is for you, okay? It's a crutch. It's a temporary process. But like a broken leg, the crutches are there to take some of the weight off of your leg, like Suboxone or methadone, take some of the weight off of your life so you can fix the things you need to fix, get everything, like I said, get your house in order, get your shit together, and then start to work on the tapering process. It doesn't matter if you're on 8 milligrams a day or 0.2 milligrams a day of Suboxone. When it comes down to that last day and your only coping mechanism, Suboxone, is supposed to be gone and you don't have any of your shit together, you're of course going to feel the anxiety and withdrawal symptoms that you're so scared of right now. Now, again, the guy that I was talking to earlier, and you know, a lot of people that we talk to say, like, I'm exercising, I'm eating healthy. That's awesome. It goes a long way, because this is the stuff we're talking about: serotonin, dopamine, endorphins. Like, those are very important, and that's going to put you way ahead of the race. Kind of the more subtle things that are very difficult to deal with is, are you happy? Like, are you legitimately happy with your life? Are you living the life that you want to live? Are you with the person that you want to be with? Or are you in a relationship that's kind of just, like, convenient, and maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend gets on your fucking nerves when you're completely sober? Do you hate going to work? Is your job stressful and not in a good way? I have a stressful job, but I fucking like it because I show up and I'm like, let's fucking get this bread, and, like, you know, let's figure out this puzzle. Let's put this thing together. But if you have a stressful job where it's like, I fucking hate my boss, I hate sitting at my desk doing this mundane bullshit, yes, when that Suboxone goes away, it's going to magnify the shit in your life that is not good. Whatever stressors you have, like, this is the stuff that you need to fucking clean up. You gotta deal with it. Shitty relationships, shitty jobs, unnecessary negative stressors in your life. You got to deal with it while you're still on Suboxone. All right. When you're handling all that stuff and you're tapering down and you are working out and eating healthy and doing all these healthy things you're supposed to be doing, when you get to the end of your Suboxone taper, you're golden. You're excited to get off. You're like, God, get that shit off my back. I'm going to get on an airplane and I'm going to go on a trip and enjoy myself and not worry about having to, lose my fucking pills or have an awkward interaction at the airport because they're like, what are these things? Been there. It's just, a lot of people look at the tapering process where it's like, oh, if there's some magical way I can go from 8 milligrams to 6 milligrams to 3 milligrams, stay there for... It's not... The chemicals aren't really a big deal. Like, your crutches aren't the thing that's actually healing your leg. Like, they're not related. It's strictly to kind of take some of the pressure off of you, allow you to handle your shit, and then move forward. Now... handling your shit can be different for everybody, and again, we go through a lot of videos that talk about these things. We talk about putting yourself in, positive social circles, joining a yoga studio or an art class or a cooking class, or going back to school just for something that you find interesting. Getting around people that aren't into dope and, fucking bullshit or drinking or booze or anything like that. Healthy things. You get around healthier people, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. Like, start to raise your group up a little bit. The people you're hanging out with, like, bring that up a notch. Then make yourself a little bit more valuable so that other people want to be hanging out around you. Make yourself the person who you want to be when you get to the end of this thing. It's really important that you don't strictly focus on the chemicals themselves. Like I have said in a million videos, when you start to shift your perspective and you start to view yourself in a different way, it has a really momentous impact. I'm not sure if momentous, I think that's a word. But for me, for instance, I smoked cigarettes for 15 years. I fucking loved smoking cigarettes. Everyone was like, you're going to smoke till the day you die. And I was like, yeah, I am. I don't give a shit. Somehow, I found myself in a CrossFit class, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed CrossFit to the point where I was like, I want to be a pretty good fucking athlete. And I just stopped smoking. It wasn't hard. And it's not because the chemicals, I didn't do Nicorette or anything like that. It wasn't, the chemicals didn't have a hold on me. I just didn't have a focus set on something that was more important than the chemicals. And I think this is something that a lot of people are missing. You're focused on where you're at now and your life with that chemical right now. Shake that up, all right? Change it up. Change your view of yourself. Like, look at who you want to be. Like, where do you want to be? Like, I'm serious. Like, I do this a lot. I try to focus on exactly where I want to be. Literally, like what kind of house I'm in, what kind of car I'm driving, who am I with, what am I doing? When you put those thoughts into your mind, that is going to make the roadmap towards where you want to go. All right? Like, if you don't know where you want to be, it's really difficult to get there, if that makes any sense. So if you find yourself today, and this gentleman, again, he's killing it. He's doing really good right now. I think we're just kind of tweaking how to get him to the finish line, or what he needs to do to get to the finish line. But he's 35, he's working out, he's eating healthy, and he's scared. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but he is, no joke, like, he's scared of what life is like without Suboxone. The way, and I'm talking to you now, the way that you're viewing your life is where you are right now. And that is very difficult for your subconscious mind to digest, to make a different decision, if that makes sense. So instead of viewing yourself where you are now and not really being happy with it, I want you to start really looking at your life where you want to be. So you brought up traveling several times. I want you to constantly be imagining yourself, picturing yourself traveling. Who are you traveling with? Where are you traveling to? You sitting in first class or you sitting in coach? What are you eating? What are you drinking? How do you feel? Like, what does your skin look like? Are you in shape? Are you killing it? Or are you kind of frumpy? Focus on all that shit, down to the detail, every single night before you go to bed, when you wake up, the next morning. To take a picture of the island that you want to go to or the mountain that you want to go to and put that shit on your bathroom mirror and look at that shit every morning and say, that is the place that I'm going to go as soon as I'm off these fucking pills, and I have my game plan to get there. Get yourself fucking fired up about it. Like, this is what you need to do. You are literally in a battle for your freedom right now. You need to fucking fight like hell to get it, all right? It's not going to be easy, but again, what difficult do you want? Do you want the difficulty of sitting for another 7 years being like, fuck man, I was 35. I could have been traveling the world and doing this shit and not having these pills fucking handcuffing me to where I'm at because I'm not sure if I have enough prescription or not? Or do you want the difficult of saying, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to go to yoga, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to journal, I'm going to put this picture on the wall, I'm going to think really hard about where I want to go, I'm going to make hard decisions, I'm going to stick to my tapering process, I'm going to come up with a timeline, I'm going to come up with a program, and if I get a little bit uncomfortable, I have some, really great coping mechanisms that I've been building over the last couple of years to fall back on. I got the gym to go to. If I'm feeling a little bit anxious because I came down a milligram, I'm going to go do a bunch of burpees and get those endorphins up. I'm going to eat a bunch of broccoli, get my serotonin levels jacked up. I'm going to call somebody I care about, beef up my oxytocin levels, give somebody a hug. Like, whatever. You can do this. Like, you just need to fucking get real about what difficult decision you want to make. So, that was exhausting, but I'm fired up because I'm fired up. Like, you guys have no idea how much potential I see in the DMs, in the comment section in YouTube, because I've seen hundreds of you, at least hundreds of you, get off this shit by now. I mean, we've been doing this for a couple years. We have hundreds of success emails and comments saying like, hey, like, I did it. I'm 6 months off. I'm a year off. I'm 2 years off. That shit fires me up because now you guys can move forward and fucking crush it and make this world a better place. This world is going to be a better place when you're off of the shit that you don't want to be off of or you don't want to be on. You can make this world what you want it to be, and you can live the life that you want to live. Do not write yourself off. Do not sell yourself short. You have already developed this incredible set of skills through the difficult shit you've been through where you can accomplish anything you fucking want to. You can do whatever the fuck you want to. All right? You just gotta do it. No more fucking questions, right? Stay on the Suboxone as long as you need to. Stay on the methadone as long as you need to. Put together your fucking game plan. Get your shit together. Kill all those, I'm not gonna say kill. Get rid of all those negative relationships that you got going on, any stressful relationships, you're friends with some assholes, kick them the fuck out of your life, change your phone number, get in whatever you need to do, all right? Start your social media shit over. You can do this. You get one fucking shot down here, right? At least in the meat suit that you're in right now. Maybe you get reincarnated into a fucking ant or something next time, I don't know. But right now, you have a chance to live a really, really fucking awesome life, and I want you to do it. I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, whatever one you're watching on, go follow on the other one, and we'll see you soon.